Hi, everyone. Today I want to talk about why I think it is that so many people who were Mormon go on to become atheists. And I think it boils down to one thing, which is personal revelation. You see, while I was growing up, I was taught to use my feelings as a gauge for whether or not something was true or right. And to an extent, I was able to do that. And I was able to follow that. However, it got to the point where I realized, after I realized that some of the things that I had been feeling were true were not true, that I couldn't trust those feelings anymore. And it was realizing that I couldn't trust my feelings to tell me what was true or what was right that ultimately led me to stop going to church. And I think that people who do stop going to church or who actually withdraw their names from the records tend to have a moment where they come to the realization that certain feelings that they've had in the past, that certain aspects of the church they thought were true weren't true. And that causes them to doubt their ability to use their feelings as a way to gauge whether something is true or not. And because of that, it becomes very difficult for them to have a spiritual experience that they trust. And because of that, it becomes very hard for them to get to the point where they can trust that any religion is true, because a lot of religions actually rely on the feelings that a person has in order to establish a sense of confidence that the religion is true. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video is because a while ago I was watching a video by Braxton Hunter of Trinity Radio, and he was talking about spiritual experiences. And he said that he didn't believe that Joseph Smith had actually seen the vision that he claimed to see, but that he believed that Mormons in general do have spiritual experiences. He just questions the content of those experiences, which I think is well and good. However, when you're a Mormon or were a Mormon and you actually had those spiritual experiences, it's very difficult to then trust that any other spiritual experience that you have is going to be any different from that. Now, I can imagine that there are some Mormons who had spiritual experiences in the church and then later on found another church and had better spiritual experiences. And so, because of that, they really feel that they found a better path spiritually. But for most of us, the church pulls all the right buttons in order for us to be able to have good spiritual experiences. We have the music, we have the messages that resonate with certain things that I believe are actually true, because I believe that there are aspects of almost every message that we're taught in the church that are true. And so we have plenty of opportunities to have lots of good feelings about what we're hearing. But when you find out that it's not all true and it's not all good, then you're left wondering, how can I trust what I'm feeling? And that's what it comes down to for me. Now, to move on to the question of whether I consider myself an atheist and what I believe now, my beliefs are actually more agnostic, I would say, but I realize that that doesn't exactly preclude atheism, because there are agnostic atheists who don't believe in God but also don't claim any certainty about whether God exists or not. And I think I'm close to them in belief. The thing that keeps me from identifying as an atheist is that I don't want to be understood as proclaiming an active disbelief in God because I don't think I have that. However, there is something that I do actively disbelieve in, which I think alone might qualify me for being an atheist in some people's minds, and that is that I actively disbelieve in the afterlife. And the reason I actively disbelieve in the afterlife is because I've thought about it and I just don't know where the data that is in our brains would possibly be able to be stored in order for us to have an afterlife in which we carried memories over from this life. And so, because of that, perhaps I am an atheist. But I prefer to call myself an agnostic and think of myself like that because, again, I don't know. I don't even know for sure that there is no afterlife. It's just something that I don't understand how there could be unless we're in some sort of a simulation already. So, those are my thoughts on why many Mormons become atheists when they leave the church and on what I believe at the moment. So, hopefully, you enjoyed this video. And if you have any thoughts or questions about why Mormons believe what they do, in my opinion, or why people choose to change their beliefs from Mormonism to other religions, please comment below and share your thoughts. See you next time. Bye.